Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction based on Elliott Wave analysis. We're gonna see what Bitcoin is doing today. This is the indicators analysis as well. But before we dive with the indicator to see how they align with our Elliott Wave possibilities here, the highest possibility, I'm gonna mention again from the daily to the 1 hour chart only the highest possibility that we might face here for Bitcoin. So currently we are in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 wave 1 flash bull run, and we are in an ABC expanding flat here as a bear market, of course, to hit the 1.618 around the 67k for Bitcoin. Currently, because the price has exited, of course, here the base channel, therefore, of course, this has been claimed as a correction, and we start to lay down here our base channel, new base channel taken from the wave 1, and based on the wave 2 we saw the wave 3 exiting the base channel and hitting, of course, an acceleration channel. However, because the wave 4 exited again the base channel, which is not really an indication here for an impulse anymore, because this is a very long wave 4 based on the time, and also it has exited the base channel. Therefore, yeah, it is very likely that we are in something different here, which it might be, of course, our ending diagonal. And as I mentioned, that the price might enter again, as we see, of course, our base channel, and it might range only inside the base channel from now on, of course, until we finish this ending diagonal. By all means, we are currently in this highest possibility for this ending diagonal unfolding here for a wave 3, of course, to hit the target as we mentioned yesterday. So basically the wave 3 target might be even a little bit lower here, so we gotta be careful with it. It can be, of course, extended wave 3, again an aggressive diagonal transformation here. It can be, of course, a deeper one, so we gotta be careful with it. It can be as well, of course, the 0.618 here fib level, so which is very, very close to our target there. However, currently, if we take a look at the structure here, we can see, of course, clearly a potential ABC zigzag. However, because of this ABC, I'm starting to wondering if this is gonna just be an ABC, simple ABC for this wave 3, or is gonna be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave A, and then B and a C later on to get, of course, a deeper, where we might hit exactly the wave 3 targets as we mentioned. So currently, I would say the perfect targets are exactly in there. And it starts to become, of course, something much more aggressive here. And since this is becoming more aggressive, well, since we have hit also already the 1.38 uncommon target here, and still looking potentially for lower, therefore, of course, now the confluence is becoming much, much bigger. Yeah, so the confluence in the target is between the 1.618 and this 0.786 at 68k here, that we might reach, of course, for Bitcoin there. So I believe, of course, the 0.618 can be a possibility, but this is in confluence, so it's a very, very strong target, I would say. So I'm suggesting here, of course, an extension for, not extension, but actually more aggressive ending diagonal here for a wave 3, that it might be unfolding there, and transformation of this ending diagonal to this form, which it might, of course, give a wave 5 lower later on, but yeah, can even reach the 67k as we mentioned, of course, on the daily. So basically, yeah, I'm bringing this ending diagonal to be more aggressive again due to this possibility. So what I'm suggesting here is potential 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, finishing wave A and then getting another wave B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 to finish the wave 3 here in the blue zone, and then of course wave 4 and then wave 5 again, a new low, and then pushing toward the upside. Don't forget, we are getting very, very closer here to the 0.5 fib level retracement, and also to the very strong area here, technically, for of course this area where we might start to see, of course, a wave 3 pushing toward the upside after a finished impulse wave 2 there. Yeah, so that is very interesting what we are looking at right now. I'm bringing, of course, a more aggressive ending diagonal today due to this price. On the 2 hours chart here, we are looking, of course, for this potential ABC, as we mentioned. Yeah, so it can be an A, B and a C, finish there. Currently we have hit our target, but what if we are in the 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and a 5 again? Yeah, because I still see here on the lower time frame, 15-minute chart here, I still see, of course, kind of a correction, meaning extensions are unfolding potentially here toward the downside. And if another extension is unfolding here, and based on this timing for this correction, nothing related to this, that means yes, it is very likely to be an extension, and then transforming all of that to something as, of course, 1, 2 here, wave 3, 4, and a 5, 4, and a 5 again, because you might transform this to another 1, 2. And then, of course, you have also 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So yeah, I think that you might extend even one more down to make, of course, a full impulse here. Yeah, so by all means, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, something like this, to hit our targets. And this might, of course, unfold a very deep correction, not correction, I would say impulse, as a wave A potentially, and then B and a C later on. Yeah. And this is, of course, where we are looking for. Anyways, this is our main target for wave 3. So yeah, I'm expecting again, even on the lower time frame here, to become in an aggressive ending diagonal there. Okay, despite that the target has been hit, but this has been hit for an ABC, guys, for the 1-to-1 fib level. So I would suggest, yeah, because of the extension corrective wave right now, I'm suggesting, of course, something deeper. So what I'm suggesting is that the wave 3 will be finished over there, and then wave 4, of course, here, and then wave 5 over there. And this might be, of course, again, an extension here, wave 3, 4, and a 5 to finish kind of like a wave A. But we'll see, guys. We'll see how this is going to unfold. Is it gonna transform to 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, or is it gonna be an ABC over there? I think this orange label, yeah, we can remove it there. We can stay just with this one. Yeah, we might have a 4, 5 there. So basically, 1, 2, 3. So the extension here is unfolding in this wave. Okay, so in this way, in case this is an extension, this becomes all of it wave 3. This becomes wave 4 and a 5. And I'm gonna put this, of course, in the white here. Yep, so these are the possibilities for Bitcoin right now. Is it an impulse wave A, wave B, wave C later on to hit a wave 3? And of course, taking a little bit more time here in an aggressive ending diagonal, or it's gonna be, of course, something as finished ABC there with less aggressive diagonal, because we took the low already and it can be zigzag, and we push for a wave 4 and a 5. We'll see, guys. Now let's dive inside the indicators to see what do we have today. For the indicator, we're gonna start with the KGT here on the 1-minute chart. Well, from the low here, we can see, of course, we have something as a bullish signal. We see kind of like double signals there as well followed, and we see higher prices. However, this price here, it doesn't look for me impulsive yet. It looks for me 3 waves, and we're still ranging in a correction, and the bearish market is back again right now, where we see, of course, a pressure coming from the top here, and we still have a huge gap. So basically, we still, of course, in something bearish here. It doesn't look for me ready to push for something higher. We can see on the 3-minute chart also we have invalidation of the bullish. Not yet, of course, something showing something bullish, meaning, of course, yeah, the bearish signal is still playing from the top here in conversions as well to the downside. So we're gonna be careful, of course. We're still in a bearish signal as well with the KGT, meaning, of course, yeah, more aggressive. Wave 3 might still be unfolding over there, and then looking for a wave 4 and a wave 5, aligning with our scenario definitely with KGT here. So if we take a look also at the RSI and the MACD on the 1-hour chart here, so we're gonna see, of course, both indicators together. So basically, for the RSI on the 1-hour chart, well, it's a lot of red there, right? We saw, of course, a oversold area in the 1-hour chart here. On the RSI, we see, of course, a little bit of movement toward the upside. It can be, of course, continuation for higher, but of course, it is preferably if we, of course, break the center line here for the RSI first, before we say that we are in something bullish there. And of course, we're still in a pressure that, of course, the RSI can still come back, despite that, of course, it is so much in red. However, on the MACD, we see a bullish cross as well. We see a momentum building up here in green, which is nice as well. But I'm still, of course, wondering if the RSI is going to pass the middle line here and finishing this, of course, as a potential wave 3 in a zigzag. Yeah, so the 1 hour chart here shows some green, but I'm not yet so much convinced with it because, of course, the 15-minute chart here shows just 3 waves, guys. Now, it can be even a regular flat, something like this, and then pushing down again, meaning can unfold something for higher and then pushing down again. So we're gonna be careful with this. For the 4 hours chart here, also the RSI is still under the oversold area, and still ranging inside it. And I'm afraid that this might range for a longer time, even can. Creating more lower prices there, of course, as expected, in case we are going to extend here something, of course, as wave 4 and a 5 again. And especially that the MACD and the signal line on the 4 hour chart are still very open for bearish, knowing that the momentum is starting to decrease, but nothing can, of course, prevent it from increasing again for the bears over there. So on the 4 hour chart, we still, of course, bearish, while the 1 hour chart shows a little bit of potential of higher prices. But as I mentioned, nothing is bullish there because, of course, the correction on the 15-minute chart is very clear in 3 waves. 4 hour chart still bearish, honestly. On the daily, we're still, of course, very bearish there. The RSI is, of course, very, very low. Actually, it's for the second time we visit in Bitcoin. Normally, Bitcoin, of course, after hitting the oversold area here, we push really high. And especially, of course, if we are in a bullish scenario. But obviously here, when we did, it did only, of course, a very, very small correction. And now we're back to this area. So I'm wondering what's going to be the reaction over there. But yeah, I think that we might dive a little bit deeper here in the oversold area for Bitcoin before, of course, we push for a wave B. Don't forget that after this, we have a wave B after finishing here an impulse, or even if we finished a wave 3 over there, this correction, it might be, of course, a wave 4 and a 5. Yeah, don't forget that this is your diagonal there. So it might be, of course, this pushback or push toward the upside from the oversold area here for a wave 4. However, the momentum on the MACD is very, very high, and for the bears, and the signal and the MACD line are still very open. So it doesn't mean that you cannot dive for deeper. Okay, even if the RSI is still, of course, in the oversold area, it can dive for deeper as well. So be careful with it. On the weekly, we're very, very close to hit the oversold area, and this is what I think Bitcoin is aiming for here, is to hit the oversold area for the weekly, at least within this candle potentially, or the next candle coming in. And especially that the momentum here on the MACD is increasing, and the signal line and the MACD line are still very, very open for bearish. And I think before finishing the ending diagonal, we might not here push toward the upside before we finish, of course, our ending diagonal there. So what I'm expecting, of course, that this might still be, of course, be bearish a little bit until we hit our target, finish our structure for wave C, and then pushing toward the upside. So yeah, very nice for the weekly. It shows exactly our scenario here unfolding, and that we are very, very close for the oversold area on the weekly, and this might be the trigger once we finish, of course, our ending diagonal, and of course in confluence with this technical area, A, B, and a C, 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 for an ending diagonal. Yeah, so this is exactly what I'm expecting. A bull run might start to unfold here. Of course, for the weekly, it's very, very interesting, because every time we touch the weekly, of course, we start a new bull run, guys. Okay, we start a new bull run, and this is exactly what I'm looking for Bitcoin as well. As the same thing here, that we might start a new bull run toward the upside, over 200k, of course, for Bitcoin. Yep, so this is regarding the MACD and the RSI on the all-time frames, I would say, from the weekly to the 1 hour chart. Now, the last thing I would like to show is the EMA here. The EMAs, of course, are very interesting as well. We can see that the EMA as well, the price is very, very close for the 200 EMA, which is, of course, our major moving average here for every single cycle, I would say, or bull run. So as you can see, when the price do we reach the 200 EMA on the weekly every time, of course, we are aiming therefore to a new bull run. And currently, we are very, very close for it again. Of course, finishing our, again, ending diagonal with it. And of course, start to look here for something for bullish again as a new bull run, guys. So very interesting as well with the EMA here. On the daily for the EMA, we have a bearish cross there. That's fine. It's normal to have. We're still, of course, a very open here in the bearish, and of course we might get, of course, our wave 4 and even continue toward the downside here, and then wave 5 until we start, of course, to push for higher again and having a bullish cross, as we saw, of course, on the weekly there. Okay, so this is what I'm expecting as well. The same to repeat here and there, of course, in every bullish cycle. That it regarding the daily for the EMAs as well on the 4-hour chart. Also a new bearish cross, of course, and still open for bearish there. So we might, of course, dive a little bit deeper in case this is going to transform to an impulse wave A, wave B, wave C later on. Can be very likely for a 1, 2, 3, and then wave 4, and then wave 5 later on, of course, for to finish this ending diagonal. So we're still open for bearish on the 4-hour chart based on the EMAs. The 1 hour as well is still very open, of course, from the bearish cross there. We're still very open for bearish here for Bitcoin. Yep, so these are the indicators for Bitcoin from the daily to the 1 hour chart. And of course, based on Elliott Wave analysis, they align perfectly, I would say, with our highest possibility here for Bitcoin, of course, which is the ending diagonal that we are looking for here around the 69, 67k. I'm expecting even can be the 0.5 fib level here if this ending diagonal wants to be aggressive. 63k 700 can be even a target, perfect target to push for higher, especially with this very strong hold technical area there. And we'll see, of course, how this is going to unfold. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.